Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Welcome to another episode of Action Video Game Talk. I'm your host, Scott Action Jackson. Thanks for joining me today, and once again, there's a whole list of news and articles to go through, so let's get right into them. Nintendo has confirmed the return of one of Mario Kart's more iconic designs, the B-Dasher, which made its first appearance in Mario Kart DS, will be coming as part of the first Mario Kart 8 DLC pack. The B-Dasher appeared in Mario Kart Wii, though under the name Sprinter in North America, and Mario Kart 7. The first DLC pack, due in November, will also include Tanuki Mario, Cat Peach, and The Legend of Zelda's Link. That bundle also arrives with a total of 4 vehicles and 8 new courses. We get the return of this B-Dasher, or it's also been called Sprinter. I keep calling it Splinter instead of Sprinter. But yeah, it's going to be returning back. It was in the original Mario Kart DS game, along with the Mario Kart Wii game, along with some other DLC in the first DLC pack, including the Raccoon Mario, the Cat Peach, and actually Link, along with some vehicles and new courses. Now, I do like that they're trying to bring in some actual older vehicles, which I hope that they'll try and do with the next, I think, was it one more DLC pack or 2? Maybe they'll bring in some older courses too with the DLC. Nintendo has announced Transparent Red and Transparent Blue 2DS models are set to launch in Europe on November 7th. The models, which you can see here, will be available on their own from that date, or as part of a bundle with either Pokemon Omega Ruby or Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, once the remake's release on November 28th. Bundles will remain the corresponding color 2DS models along with a copy of one of the pre-installed games on a 4GB memory card. In related news, Nintendo has also confirmed a demo version of both Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire will be available from October 15th until launch from a number of retailers including Game, Amazon, Smith Toys Superstore, Shop2, and the Nintendo UK official store. Now, this is only for Europe right now, which we can all hope comes over here to the US, which it should. I mean, most of the stuff that releases over there in the UK and Europe gets brought over. Most, not everything, although for some stupid reason they should. But I do like that they're releasing these 2DS models in a transparent shell, because it does mirror what they did a long time ago and kind of off and on since then from the original Game Boy. Although the original Game Boy transparent one was a bit of a rarity. I think it was Game Boy. I think it was either the original Game Boy or maybe it was the Game Boy Color. Or it may have been both. But I know Bill over at Reploid Productions has one of these transparent Game Boys, which I think he's been posting some pictures and videos on his Facebook page if you want to go check those out. But the major issue here is if these get brought over to the US, will they still have the preloaded Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby with them? Or will they just be the system by themselves? Before we get started, we should recap a couple things. Nintendo has announced new 3DS models decorated with the theme of the original NES, Super Smash Bros., and Persona Q. Those aren't the new 3DS though, because that's the name of the redesign for the 3DS and 3DS XL. The new handheld boasts improved 3D, repositioned buttons, and an additional tiny right analog control. It will also support games like a port of Xenoblade Chronicles that won't be compatible with the original 3DS or original 3DS XL that you own right now. The new handhelds are coming to Japan this year, and Nintendo has announced that one more territory will have them before the end of 2014. Those of you in Australia and New Zealand will be able to purchase your new 3DS on November 14th. Those of us in North America and Europe
will be waiting until 2015. Take heart though, Super Smash Bros. On 3DS is only days away. See, this is a nagging issue. They're going to be coming out with these new decorated 3DS and 3DS XLs. Actually, they're just 3DS XLs as far as I've seen. That's going to be the original model type NES Super Smash Bros. Themed ones, which are actually out now, and Persona Q. Now, it's nice that they're having these being released. It's kind of pointless, considering that they're having these new 3DS and new 3DS XLs that are coming out. I mean, what is wrong with you, Nintendo? You're going to wait until 2015 to bring them here in the US, but you're going to hand them out to Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. What the hell is wrong with you? Why can't you just go and bring it here instead of making these other, I guess, current 3DS models? Why don't you just go and release the new one and get it over with? Jeez. A lot of times Nintendo are dumbasses. That's simple. Sony has announced the release date for the PlayStation TV, a small device intended for media and games. The device, which will retail for $99.99, will be available on October 14th. Sony says more than 700 games will be available at launch, including native Vita games, PlayStation 1 titles, and PSP games available digitally. Sorry, there's no UMD drive on the PlayStation TV. Among the named games are Metal Gear Solid, Persona 4 Golden, Spelunky, Dragon's Crown, Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, and the upcoming Adventure Time The Secret of the Nameless Kingdom. Sony also says that the Vita version of Minecraft will be compatible with PlayStation TV. PlayStation TV will also be available in a bundle with a DualShock 3 8GB memory card and the Lego Movie video game for $139.99. Additionally, Walmart is including Sly Cooper Thieves in Time on top of the bundle at the same price. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are interested in this PlayStation TV and wanting it to come out right away and get a hold of it. Me, personally, I'm not, for kind of two reasons. One, I don't have good enough internet to probably be running this, and secondly, it will probably have maybe a monthly fee, which I don't officially know right away. But they do have a good amount of games available for launch for it. I mean, this is more than 700 games, listed a few being Metal Gear Solid, Dragon's Crown, Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, and it's even going to be compatible with the Vita version of Minecraft. That's going to be an impressive amount of games. And apparently this bundle that's supposed to be coming out with the DualShock 3, the memory card, and the Lego Movie video game, I guess through Walmart they're doing an addition to the bundle by adding on Sly Cooper Thieves in Time for the same price. So if you want to get the bundle, it seems like Walmart might be the better one to get right now when it comes out. Earlier this week, Microsoft announced a late-stage delay of the Xbox One in China. The device was set to hit store shelves, but Microsoft said that it needed a bit more time to deliver the best experiences possible for Chinese consumers. A bit more time amounts to just 6 days. The console will be on shelves on September 29th. At launch, there will be 10 games available, all of them via digital distribution. These games will be available on disc later, and 70 more are in process for approval. Microsoft is partnering with Chinese media giant Best TV to bring the console to the market. The Xbox One will be appearing at over 4,000 stores throughout the country. It is great to hear that more gamers around the world will be able to play some of these new generation consoles. Now, apparently there was issues with getting an Xbox system over there, let alone the Xbox One. I think they had some kind of I think they had some rules or loopholes to go through before trying to do this. Microsoft is partnering with this media giant over in China, Best TV, which is helping them bringing the Xbox One to the market in China. And then they are saying that there's going to be 10 games available at launch, but it's just going to be digitally. Later on, there will be some physical games available. So yeah, this is great for gamers in China. Hopefully this does help them out a lot. Microsoft has announced a price drop on the Xbox One in the UK. The new $329.99 price tag drops the console under the PlayStation 4's selling price of $349.99. Microsoft says that the price drop is only for the UK right now. The console originally launched at $429.99 in the UK before seeing a price drop to $349.99 in February. The $329.99 offering does not include the Kinect, nor is bundled with any games. Microsoft tells Joystick that there are no plans to drop the price in North America. So once again, there's some exclusive stuff happening over in the UK that's not happening here in the US. Go figure. But with this, I'm guessing Microsoft is trying to get more people to buy the Xbox One by dropping the price down to about $330 in the UK currency. Because it says here it did launch for about $429.99 over there. That was probably the one with the Kinect. So this does help with their sales for the Xbox One. Although the question is if it would eventually drop down in price over here in the US, which maybe could happen at some point, just not right away. After being on sale for less than a week, Coffee Stain Studios' ridiculous goat simulation game has hit a major sales milestone. The developer has announced on its blog that Goat Simulator has already sold more than 100,000 copies on iOS and Android. With a $4.99 price tag on both systems, that's an extra $500,000 that the quirky Goat Sim has made the small indie studio. Coffee Stain Studios says that while its future plans are still up in the air, it is currently focused on squashing any bugs that cause the game to crash. The developer also says that it's working on patch 1.2 for the PC version, and that it will be the biggest and most awesome expansion yet. Well, yeah, of course this is going to sell really well. I mean, it's got like $5 price tag on the iDevices and cell phones, so yeah, it's going to be selling a lot, especially with so many people knowing that it's a fun little game. And it's good to hear that the developer are working on a new patch for the PC version that will be the biggest, most awesome expansion yet. Whatever that means. Maybe it'll be like including additional goats or maybe more levels to play through. A since-removed post on the Rockstar support website points to a new way to play Grand Theft Auto 5 this fall. Unless the port posting was erroneous, you will be able to experience the game in first person both on foot and behind the wheel. The first-person perspective will allow users to see the interiors of cars, including working instrumentation. The game will also feature a mode for movie making, new animals, and new Easter eggs and random events during the story. Now, I don't think this has officially been said from Rockstar if there's going to be first-person modes in the new Grand Theft Auto game, because this is only supposed to be for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 version of Grand Theft Auto that's coming out this fall. It's not going to be for the older versions, not for the 360 or PlayStation 3 versions. This is just for the new ones that's coming out this fall, and also for the PC. Now, if this is happening, it's going to be opening up a lot of doors on what to do in the game. Of course, they'll also probably make sure those kids under 10 years old won't be getting their hands on it too. Some kids who might try it who shouldn't be. So yeah, we gotta really enforce that no kids should be getting this game. Seriously, you should be 18. No, you should be 17 or older to get this game. That's how old you should be. I mean, that's what it should have been since the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5. That hasn't been the case, though, because some parents and grandparents have been letting kids get in these games, which is wrong. Ubisoft's last generation realistic guitar simulator, Rocksmith 2014, is getting the update treatment for the current generation of consoles. Some of the enhancements for this new version of the game include updated visuals, the ability to record and share performances, and Vita capability with the PlayStation 4 version of the game, allowing players to review difficult songs without having to actually play the game. The game will ship with 50 songs, and DLC purchase can be transferred over to the new remastered versions within the platform. PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, 360 to Xbox One. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of Rocksmith 2014 lands November 4th. Now this is great news for those wanting to try the Rocksmith games who have only Xbox One and PlayStation 4, because from what I've heard, it is a great guitar simulator that does actually help you play the guitar. Now me personally, every time I wanted to try and get this game, I've wanted to get it with the guitar. So not just the game and the cable, but the game, cable, and guitar. But for some reason they never really make that many of them, so it's incredibly difficult to actually get your hands on. Although they do say it's a lot easier to go out and just get a good guitar, which I can't really do that. Now I'm sure people who are listening to this or watching this will probably have better luck getting a guitar to play along with this, would have a better shot. Signs point to 2K Games and developer Irrational Games releasing a complete edition of Bioshock Infinite for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 that includes the game's DLC and other extras. According to a listing on GameStop, the game comes out on November 4th for $39.99 and includes Barrel at Sea Episodes 1 and 2, the Clash in the Clouds pack, the Early Bird Special, and Columbia's Finest pack. The latter two packs contain weapons, gears, and other amenities. A source at 2K has confirmed that the publisher will be putting out Bioshock Infinite the Complete Edition later this year on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. The source did not confirm any of the details listed, but did say more info would be forthcoming. I did enjoy Bioshock Infinite. The ending was a bit of a WTF moment. That's the only way I could put it. And I know that they tried the Barrel at Sea to try and improve the story some. I do, however, like that they're releasing this, an actual complete edition for Bioshock Infinite, so that everyone can play everything in one package. And the price for it doesn't sound that bad. It's only about $40. Now, I know on Xbox 360, it will probably have maybe 2 or 3 discs. Of course, because it is 360, they just use normal DVD technology. While on the PlayStation 3, it probably will be just on one disc, because they're still using, they have been using Blu-ray technology. But yeah, I do enjoy this bit of news. I'm looking forward to seeing it. If I'm lucky, I might be able to give it a shot. Ubisoft has detailed Assassin's Creed Unity's Season Pass revealing DLC taking place after the campaign in France, as well as a completely new standalone story in China. The Assassin's Creed Unity Season Pass will be available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and all of the listed DLC allegedly arriving by early 2015. In terms of what's included, while new missions, characters, and weapons will be added to the story of Assassin's Creed Unity and the goings-on in Paris, it's the other 2 additions that really sound intriguing. The first, called Dead Kings, takes place after the events of the main game and follows Oro as he leaves Paris for Saint Denis, a troubled city with a mysterious and extensive underground that holds the crypts for the deceased French kings. Expect self-contained missions along with new open-world activities like treasure hunts, murder mysteries, and contracts. New gear and weapons can be carried over into the main game. Then, there's Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, which is a brand new downloadable game for Season Pass holders. Apparently spawned from a single sketch of the 16th century China, this soon became something bigger, You play as Xiao Zhang, a traverse in 2.5D world inspired by traditional brush paintings. So like all Assassin's Creed Season Pass, there's going to be a lot of stuff in it. Stuff from missions, characters, weapons, to additional stories. I mean, there's this one called The Dead Kings, which takes place after the main story in Assassin's Creed Unity. And then there's also this one that intrigues people even more that takes place in China. And of course, in the China one, you're playing as a whole new character. Xiao Chung, if I said the name right. If I didn't, sorry. But being able to play in China, that might open up a whole new possibility as far as future Assassin's Creed games. I mean, I think China was one of the locations that was going around for the future Assassin's Creed games. Plus, other people have been wanting to go to Japan, so this is probably the closest we're going to get right now. Destiny's latest patch has hit the live servers, bringing with it a couple of easier missions and a fix for a bug affecting the Vault of Glass raid. Update 1.0.1.4 makes 3 activities easier and also fixes a particularly irritating glitch that stopped guardians who completed Vault of Glass from getting loot. Seeing as completing the raid takes a considerable amount of co-orientation, effort, and time, this was particularly vexing for anyone unfortunate enough to encounter it. Another bug that seems players remain dead if they die as the mission ends will be addressed in a future patch. In terms of lowering the difficulty, it's the Shrine of Onyx, Sword of Korta, and Exclusion Zone missions that have been slapped with a nerf bat, as they no longer contain major enemies when attempting on heroic tires. There's no mention of the developer fixing a popular farming spot on Earth that many are using to power level and collect high-level items as yet. It is nice that they're trying to make some of the missions easier to play through, especially when they have the heroic tires onto them. They become more or less really difficult. And as far as this, I guess, bug, as far as players remaining dead as they die as the mission ends with the Vault of Glass, I'm sure they'll get around to fixing as many bugs as they can with this game. It does take them a while. I mean, they're getting to as much stuff as they can with this. And as far as the farming spot on Earth, known as the Loot Cave, Treasure Cave, whatever cave you want to call it, I'm guessing at some point they will fix it. So for those people who are going there, you might want to enjoy it while you can. If you've been cursing the name of the fickle Cryparch and his partner in crime, the legendary Engram, you might have more luck for the next couple weeks finding good Destiny loot. The Queen's Wrath event has started, and rewards are likely to make participation worthwhile. The Queen's Emissary is in the tower now, handing out bounties to Guardians. These aren't easy, but you'll earn yourself legendary purple and rare blue gear for participating. Keep boosting those high levels. The Vault of Glass is still waiting for you too. This new Queen's Wrath bounties, you can actually still get them at the usual robot thing that you can get the normal bounties at. The actual tower did open up the background area so that you can go and redeem them through the Queen's Emissary? Whatever way you want to call it, sorry. Sorry if I'm getting this wrong, but yeah, you can actually go back there, redeem your bounties for gear and stuff like that once you build up enough rankings. But this little Queen's Wrath bounties will be lasting until October 6th, so it will be available for a little while, just not that long. So you might want to get in there, get the bounties, and get going. And like the news article says, the Vault of Glass is still out there waiting for you to give it a shot. So you might want to get some high-level stuff so you can get through that. The Treasure Cave will be no more. In addition to fixing the Loot Cave, Bungie has revealed some plans to patch some of Destiny's quirkier issues. One of the more troubling things is picking up a higher level engram which needs to be decoded into weapon or armor back at the tower, only to have it become something quite useless. We didn't accurately communicate the potential random outcomes of decryption, Bungie Community Manager writes. Players see what looks like the familiar metaphor for item identification, while the Cryparch thinks he's opening a grab bag of loot. Rage sharing of blues ensues. Expect to see changes to address this soon. Bungie is also making changes to the different weapon classes. Auto rifles will see range and stability nerfs, scout rifles will get damage buffs, and shotguns will have deemed effective beyond their intended range. Those tweaks will be coming soon, but not to our precious hand cannons. Additionally, more exotic weapons like Thorn and Bad Juju will be getting upgrades to make them more useful. Op-in voice communication is coming to matchmaking events too. This will allow players in multiplayer matches and strikes to chat with one another more easily. Finally, Bungie has identified a problem with strikes, in that the enemies deal more damage and players take more than intended. Expect strikes to get a little easier soon. The Vault of Glass raid is properly tuned though. Yeah, this is going to be some sad news for people who've been using the treasure cave or loot cave to get some more higher level gear. But then again, they are trying to improve on some of the things, like identifying some of the engrams that you get that are blue or purple and end up getting absolutely nothing of use out of it. Along with, I guess, they're tweaking the weapons some, but apparently they're leaving out the hand cannons, at least for right now. And they are tweaking some exotic weapons as well. And then they're improving on the little actual voice communications during the matchmaking and multiplayer stuff. So yeah, they're trying to get around to patching up some of the stuff as much as they can when they can get to it. The biggest issue here is going to be the loot cave or treasure cave is being taken out. Okay, I just wanted to add something really fast because when I first recorded the opinion about this loss of the loot cave, the actual update patch just happened after I got done recording. And also, there has been a new loot cave discovered. So I'm sure you can actually be able to find that once you take a look around in YouTube land or maybe Google it. You can find it that way too. Alright, now on to the major new releases for this week. We have FIFA 15 for, man, this is going to be long, Nintendo 3DS, PC, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Vita, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the original Wii. Gauntlet came out for PC. Disney Infinity Marvel Superheroes for PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Wii U, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Hyrule Warriors for the Wii U. Slender The Arrival for the Xbox 360. Killer Instinct Combo Breaker Pack for the Xbox One. So that's it for this episode of Action Video Game Talk. Once again, thanks for listening along, watching along. Later on, I'll have those separate clips up if you want to check those out. Otherwise, I'll have the link down below if you want to check out the Facebook page. So until next time, bye.